Today we are going to start with block 6, that's feminist theories. So I'll start right now. So here you see an infographic. It's all very self-explanatory. It's on sex and gender. Gender is a socially constructed role, behavior, expression, and identity of girls, women, boys, men, and gender diverse people. And sex is biological attributes of humans and animals, including physical features, chromosomes, gene expression, hormones, and anatomy. So, we are going to look into the implications of the distinction between sex and gender as set by the feminist theories. What is sex? Sex refers to a set of biological attributes in humans and animals, constitute physical and physiological features. So, anything to do with your body, your physical body, which will identify you as a male or a female, that is referred to as sex. Is usually categorized as male or female. And what is gender? Gender is a socially constructed role, behavior, expression, and identities of girls, women, boys, men, and gender diverse people. So does not mean that like what happens is in society, the moment you're born, they like earlier, we had this discussion on pink and blue. The pink is for the girls and the blue is for the boys. So it's already been stereotyped and it's been conditioned that, anything that girls wear usually have pink, and the boys, they are identified with the color blue. So even in the hospital, when the baby is born, the nurses, they wrap the babies with that particular color. So you know whether it's a boy or a girl. So this is all conditioned, all these are all constructed behavior, and these identities are given by society. It is not like, you're born and it's there. It's not like a law kind of a scene. It's all constructed for you, and it influences. So, this gender will influence how you perceive yourself as well as others, how you have to interact with the other person, and also power and resources, how are they distributed in society, the kind of work, the kind of jobs that you can get. Everything depends on gender. It's all related to gender. So basically nowadays you have this, it's gender inequality. There is a mismatch. What we see on the screen on the top picture, the man and the woman having equal rights, it's never that way. It's the other way around. It's usually the woman who is having lesser rights than the men. So gender identity is not just binary and static, it can change over time. This means that over a period of time, like if you look the previous last year or the last few years, there have been a lot of feminist actions taking place, fighting for each one's rights and things like that. And even 100 years back itself, people have started speaking out and saying that we all want to be put on an equal platform. So people have slowly started understanding, that it's important for women also to be raised, for their position also should come onto a higher level, because it is they who are going to be the first, what you call it, the first person, the first individual who is going to have an impact on an individual, on your child. Only if you teach your child something, then the child will learn, what is right and what is wrong, and how you have to behave towards the people of the other sex. All those things come from the woman. Mainly it's from the woman. So it's changing. So the social situation is changing now. So the gender identity will also change. So that's why they say gender identity is not just binary and static. It can change over time. So now you find men also, they also agree. Some of them do agree that, women should have equal rights. Main feminist motivation for making the distinction was to counter the view that biology is destiny. They all thought that it is biology that because of biology, because of your biological makeup. That is why you are not allowed to enter politics, you are not allowed to take up certain jobs, etc. And what was this? Women had a low metabolic rate. These are the reasons that they gave. Women had a low metabolic rate, so they're slow, passive, sluggish, and uninterested in politics. These are what the men used to say. And men were catabolic. This makes them energetic, passionate, etc. So they were saying that men have the capability to do a lot of things and not women. So that is why we are not having women in position of power. So they used to use to justify what the social and political arrangements should be. So political rights for women were withheld. So to counter this, the feminists argued that behavior and psychological differences are due to social and not biological causes. So now we also have this famous feminist Simone de Beauvoir. She had famously claimed women are not born but they become. So this whole thing, all what we are going to do right now about Simone de Beauvoir, it will be done tomorrow. So I'm keeping it very short. We're just covering what her views on gender was. This word gender, what's her view on that? Social discrimination affects moral and intellectual capacities of women so deeply that it appears to be caused by nature. So that means the women have been conditioned. Because society has been so deeply entrenched in patriarchy, that all the things that are taking place now, the very act, the very way the women act, all this is because they have been conditioned. Their intellectual and moral capacities have been entrenched so deeply into this that they themselves are not aware what they are doing. They feel that it is a norm until somebody from outside comes and tells them, this is it. Can you look at it from the other point of view and see what is happening? Then it strikes you. Otherwise, till then, we are going along with what has been the norm. So, behavioral traits are culturally learned and acquired. This is one of her other views on gender. So, gender differences are a result of cultural practices and social expectations. Females become women through a process where they acquire feminine traits and learn feminine behavior. Masculinity and femininity are products of how individuals are brought up. Social forces play a major role over here. So this entire thing, like women, we are as soon as a child is, they find this a girl, and you go and give a gift her a doll, or a kitchen set or something like that, because you feel, oh, this is what the child should play with. So these particular the way the child behaves, the way the female child behaves, it's because she's been conditioned to behave like that. It's not that she can't play with a football or a train set. It's not because of that. That femininity and that feminine traits are instilled in the child, in a woman, while she is still at home. And when she's really young, it's being instilled in her. And so when she grows up, she carries all these thought processes, everything, she carries it with her throughout. And then she passes this on to the next generation. So I think I'll end regarding sex and gender over here.